Coach, last week. Went over Concordia, and then you had your alumni game, but a lot of good things coming out last week.
Yeah, it was a good week for us. We actually got to rest a couple guys. Micah, Andy Benish, and Josh Kirkner all pretty much had the week off. Josh practiced one day during the week. The guys had Wednesday, Thursday off, so that was good. The alumni match is usually a good week for us, a good weekend for us, because it kind of we get in touch with everybody. And Concordia on Tuesday was great because we got to play a competitive team. We didn't have to worry about the ramifications of anything, and we got to play some guys that in a match against a team that's really good. Concordia is going to be they're moving from NAIA to moving up into the NC2A next year. So great coach, great team, a lot of guys that have played Division I elsewhere. So it was good. We got Mike Malahy set the match and did a great job for us. And it's not often. It's just like a backup quarterback that's good. It's good to get them an entire match of game experience. He had it against UCLA, and this time was at home with a lot of time to mentally prepare for it. He knew he was going to start. And we were able to get him ready, and Cam Green did a great job with him, getting him ready and talking to him about the offense throughout the game. So a lot of game experience for him. Got Christian Rivera an entire match under his belt, and he played great. He was kind of our go-to guy in that match. And, played Tommy Leonard, Robert Feathers, Lischke, got some guys on the floor. And then we also got to get an entire match under Jack Wyatt's belt. And I think he's been kind of our number 4 outside hitter all year. You've seen the 3 with Arenik and Tui and Slot, but Wyatt's a guy who's a freshman, and he does everything really well. I think I think by the time he's done, I think he's going to remind a lot of people of Tri-Bourne. Not to put too much pressure on Jack, we're all counting on you. Don't mess it up. But he's one of those outside hitters that does everything really well. So it was good to get him some practical playing experience. We've gotten him in mop-up time, or time where we've been real down, not a lot of pressure on him, but we were able to get him an entire match. And that was really important for us and for the depth of our outside hitting core, to have another guy that's got more practical experience. And he passed wonderfully, blocked pretty good, and then he hit pretty well. So it was great for us as a group, and we got to get Riley Mallon and Vinny Rios some time at libero, and that other libero spot's been a thing all year where it hasn't been solid for us. And Riley did some real nice things passing the ball and pretty solid on defense. And Vinny's the kind of guy that can change a game with his ability athletically. And that match, he was able to run down a ball real deep in our court off a deflection and keep a play going during a tight part of the third set when we hadn't gained control yet. And that was we're actually down a few. And Vinny's rundown of that play actually kind of started our mini comeback, which got us back in control of the match. So a lot of important stuff happened for our team that's maybe not like headline type stuff, but it's really good stuff that we can keep in our back pocket.
And what does it say about the character of these guys? I mean, not all of them, you have such tremendous depth. Not all of them get to play regularly, but they're still patient, contribute when they can.
Yeah, they're, that was our whole, modus operandi. It started a few years back, was we needed to build our depth. We had great starting lineups and great groups in practice that could compete against them, but we didn't maybe have the functional depth. I use that term, functional depth. I think in 11, 12, whatever, we had really good depth, but it wasn't always functional. It was great in practice on a day-to-day, and some of those guys were great if you pulled them off the bench and put them in. Some guys didn't. And we wanted a whole group that understood team first. And this group, probably more than any that we've had before, understands team, understands the collective mission of what's going on, and has a great attitude. I mean, there's great stuff that you can see. I mean, if you look at, prior to the UCLA game at Pauley, Christian Rivera was prepping John Rivera before that match. And this is a guy that week had jumped Christian. So to have kind of the selflessness there, and to have the talk, and to see Micah talking to Michael Malahy when Malahy's out there setting, and to see the other guys in their positions, Brooks talking to Riley and to Vinny. And I know at one point during the UCLA and Santa Barbara matches, we put Tommy Leonard in for Robert Feathers, and Robert's sitting there prepping Tommy and talking to him about what's going on. So we have all these guys that are together, and we're all pulling in the same direction at the same time, and that is the strength of our group, is that, to simplify terms, they get it.
Well, now basically league play comes down to 2 matches with Cal Baptist. You win both, you get home court at least for the first round of the postseason. So What does that mean to you guys?
It's huge. I mean, that's when we set out every year. We want to win the national championship, and the first way to do that is to finish top 4 in the MPSF. We'd obviously like to win it every year, but to finish top 4 and host that first round playoff match and to get things going, we've had tremendous success when we host a first round playoff match. We've had success when we haven't. Not since 2009, but that's the deal. Is you want to stay home for that first round, and you want to not have to mess with traveling anywhere, and get your whole week of prep in at home in your own facility, and guys sleeping in their own beds, not interfering with school. So everything's a little bit more advantageous when you're at home, and so that's the goal. So, if we're finishing in the top 4 of the most competitive athletic conference in college sports, then, we're feeling like we're on the right track.
Coach, you did have that alumni match last week. How did that go?
It went great. It was a little shorter night than usual. Normally we have the alumni play each other. We didn't have a ton of turnout to have enough guys to do that. But the group we had was fantastic. It's the most competitive alumni group we've ever had. We played 3 sets no matter what. We played 2 to 25 and 1 to 15. So on the floor for the alumni, we had Donald Sujo, who's a 2-time Olympian, setting, and a player of the year. Tony Torelli was one outside hitter. He was a former player of the year, led us to 3 Final Fours. Juan Figueroa came back, and Juan's been having a great professional career in Puerto Rico, and he's now coaching down in Orange County. So you had 2 basically professional international level outside hitters, a 2-time Olympian setting him. We had Austin Zahn and Steve Shandrick in the middle. You're talking about an All-American, All-Conference guy. Donnie Killian came back, Andrew Pizzula, and of course the one and only Mark Beltran. And it was a really competitive night. The games, I believe, were close to deuce games. And it was just a great night for our guys to reconnect with the alumni. And this is really the first time we've had that younger crew of alumni really be able to come in and compete, with our guys. And so it was nice for us to be in a competitive environment, but to be, coming back with the alumni and have it be a fun night. And, the women's volleyball team was there, and they were all rowdy, and it was awesome. They had great support and good fire. It was just a great night for USC volleyball all around.